For sure.
Uh, you in New York, right? Are you in Philly?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn, up in Flatbush. Yeah, I'm like from the Philly area, from Media, PA. It's like outside of Philly, like 30
Okay.
minutes out the city. But yeah, living up here for work now.
Do
You
people
said
really
you're
do people really be spamming? Because I feel like I watched a couple of content creators that's from New York. Do they really be saying word to bro like that, or like they just spamming it?
words of, bro. I mean, I feel like the natives do for sure, but I mean, they kind of spam a lot of those little catchphrases,
Yeah,
definitely. But
so I'll just be watching them. I'll just be like, "There's no way y'all say that at the end of every sentence." You'd be like, "Where,
right,
bro?" Like, okay, bro. Like, come on.
yeah, right,
Hold on. Yeah, that's the right. But yeah, I'm in Texas. I'm originally from the Bay Area, so on the opposite
okay.
side of the world. But I've been out
Oh
here for
yeah,
like 3
when did you? You said 3 years.
Yeah,
Okay,
3
dope.
years is smooth. I
How
feel
you
like
like it down?
it's cool. It's not as bad as people try to like, it's a red state, but it's like I ain't really felt like I was out of place anywhere. But I really don't do much like I used to. So I don't really go out. I don't really be in that scene too much. So I can't really speak for how it really is just in the streets. But I feel like I do what I do and I do it and I don't feel no way about it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Before we get started, bro, I gotta tell you, I am so blowed. I go to put the shorts on today. I don't know where it came from. I got a bleach stain on the shorts. I don't know
Oh,
how it happened. I'm like, because I know I washed my clothes yesterday. I must have set something down. It's like a small stain, but I'm just like, oh my, I was sick to my stomach.
uh,
I was like,
wait, which pair? You
damn.
got the black pair?
Nah, I got the
Oh, the
tan joints.
khakis.
I don't think it's gonna show up on here.
Okay.
It's like right there, those
Oh
two.
yeah, yeah, some little spots. Man, it adds character. A little stress moment.
And
You know.
if I kind of do it up, I'd be like, that's my little piece to it. I added some little extra
Right.
to it.
Hey, thanks, bro. It's like,
um, but yeah, we could go ahead and jump into this, and we could towards the back end kind of do what we got to do. But all right, what's going on, man? It's your boy Creative Cloth, and I'm back with another video, man. Look, if I'm not starting somewhere, I'm not going nowhere, and this is gonna be another segment of Kloth Talk. Now, again, Kloth Talk is just where I pull the archetype, some hype beats, complex, and it's all talk about sneakers, fashion, all that I love, and I bring people on here who have those same passions as well. Well, I ain't gonna waste no time, man. Let's go ahead and introduce our guest, longtime mutual brand owner that is doing very well. I think what you're doing is really dope, bro. I think it's adding something different to fashion right now. I definitely want you to be able to expand on that. So once we get to the tail end, I think I want to get really into what you're doing so people know what it is that you're doing with your brand, but also where you plan to take it. But I'll let you give a little bit more of an introduction of yourself. I just want to do that.
for sure. What's good? My name is Chris Jackson, founder and creative director of CHEZ RIEN. Yeah, pleasure to be here. I appreciate you having me, Gregory. Super hyped to just, chop it up.
That's super formal. Greg is fine. I ain't
Oh,
heard my
Greg. Oh,
I ain't heard
I
my
ain't
full
know.
name like that in a minute. I'm like,
Man, I
Gregory,
mean,
who's
you got
that?
the IG,
Nah,
IG name, but
and respectfully, I didn't even know like Chris. I was like, I didn't know that was your name, bro.
oh, yeah.
And it's funny enough. I mean, we'll get into it, but I took 3 years of French. I can't
Okay.
recall anything that I learned in French, like at all.
Oh, wow.
I can't call back, and I took it in college, so it's like a level of higher rather than if I took it in high school. But it's like I can't recall anything I learned in French at all. It's like pretty bad.
It's definitely one of them things. I feel like it comes and goes. Like if you pick it up a little bit, you would probably start remembering some things. I remember like when I went to France in like high school, I was like in an exchange program, so I stayed with like a student over there. Stayed with his family. They spoke no English, and I swear in like 2 weeks, I just felt way more comfortable, way more conversational with it. So it's like I feel like it's one of the languages. There's a lot of commonalities as well with English. So, but I'm definitely rusty. It's been a minute.
So you were already like learning it, and then you went out there to like kind of just pick it up a little bit more?
This is like back in high school, just like taking the classes and everything. But yeah, I was in like a program where I got placed. He came and stayed with me and my family in the US for a couple of weeks. We did like same situation over there. So it was great.
Yeah, I knew some people in my school that did that. I think that he was from Korea or something. But yeah, I remember I knew of people that do that. But I feel like it definitely makes you learn it, because like you get thrown into a situation where it's like everybody don't speak your language. And you kind of have to adapt, and it kind of makes you like a little bit like, okay, I gotta at least learn the basics.
For sure.
But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into these articles, and then I definitely want to get more into your background. But let's go ahead and knock these out, and we'll do that on the tail end. All right, so this article title reads: Troublesmile ASICS collaboration is coming soon. Before we get into like what this sneaker is all about, I kind of just want to ask. I'm always so interested in what people are wearing on a daily basis. So like, what would you say like your main sneaker rotation is right now? Like, what brands are you gravitating to? What silhouettes?
Man, so I'm very simple. Honestly, I've definitely transitioned a little bit from kind of the sneaker way. So for me, it's simple. It's like I got my running shoes, I got my Hokas, my Sauconys for exercise. I got like a rotation. I got some New Balance 1906 Rs, which I really like. Those are more just like lifestyle, working out type of situation. But in terms of like actual style, it's mainly, I'm wearing loafers, I'm wearing derbies, like pair of boots, love my black stocking Webbers. Trying to think sneaker wise. I mean, I'll wear a Chuck 70, keep it classic, but kind of like to be a little more subdued with my footwear. And really, I don't know, that's just what I've been feeling lately, honestly. It's been a while since I've been really into like sneaker culture, but still appreciate it for what it is. It definitely was my foundation of getting into clothes. So yeah. That's kind of my vibe. A lot of hard bottom shoes, leather shoes, etc.
Are Hokas really as comfortable as people make them seem?
They are. I mean, they're like clouds on your feet for sure. Lots of cushion. Okay. I would say they're not the most responsive, so I've been using them more for like long runs and things. And I just got these Saucony Speed, Endorphin Speed 3s. Those are great for more of those like pacing, faster paced runs and things. But yeah, Hokas is cool. They're cool for sure, but definitely not. It's more like a big cushion. My girlfriend is a nurse and she wears those for like most of her shifts, those long 12 hours. So, definitely comfy, but
I have to ask now, have you ever owned a pair of Ultra Boosts in your life?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So would you can you call on a memory? Like, are they just in comparison? Because like people used to swear by Ultra Boosts, like this is the most comfortable shoe there is. So I'm trying to like pair it to something that's like more recent.
Yes, the Hokas I would say are a little more stable than like an Ultra Boost. I don't know if you remember like the Ultra Boost kind of like they were super cushy, but like they kind of you might wobble a little bit because they're so plush, on that midsole. So I'd say they're like. Man, I'd say if you were to take like a kind of like the New Balance, like the 2002 Rs and the what else, the 1906s I just mentioned, like combine those and the Ultra Boost and meet in the middle, it's like a little bit more of that cushion, but like not as like the boost you could feel instantly, just like cushy, like almost feels like you're barely wearing a shoe. Hokas are like a little bit more. Like support, I guess,
Not for that. I was just trying to get like because I see people always talking about Hokas. I see a lot of people talk about that brand. What is it? On. I see a lot of people talk about those two brands in particular, but like I haven't. They talk about it, but they don't talk about the actual like comfort of the shoe. It's more so just like that's what's in, and I'm like I'm wondering if like, they were actually comfortable or not. But that's interesting.
Oh, they cool for sure, but
now, I got a pair of black stocking Webbers though. Those heat. I can't even deny that. Like those
it's killing it.
I have a pair of the backless mules, but I need a pair of the loafers because I feel like everybody need a pair of like I don't care if like you're just super into sneakers, I feel like everyone just needs that one pair of just like really structured, like dressier type shoe. And I feel like that brand is like very solid.
Yeah, top tier. I mean, I've had my pair since like 2021, so we're like 3 years in.
Oh,
like,
dang.
I'm wearing them a couple of times a week. You know, I have like the Croc, just like the classic brown with the horse bit, like Croc loafers. They're just amazing. You know, Chris, shout out Chris, he's killing it over there. Definitely a big inspiration of mine.
Yeah, most def. So let's get to these. I see ASICS is definitely I don't know if you've been keeping up with like collabs and stuff. ASICS is having a hell of a year. They are having a fantastic year with, you know, the Gel Kahanas, of course. Like the 14s are probably the most popular silhouette because they had that collaboration with Jown. And then Kiko always bringing out fire ASICS collabs. But I feel like those brands that are kind of like in the background, like when New Balance was having to shine and New Balance took over the year, and I think that was probably like, I'll probably say that's like 2021, 2022. But now I feel like brands like Saucony, brands like ASICS are now starting to have like, you know, Jake Tips getting the Saucony one. Like those are fire. Those dropping in New York. I need to find somebody to approximate those. But I'm not really a fan of these ones. These are more so like, you know, kind of to segue into talking about sneakers. But like, I feel like I'm just getting older and like it's just too much going on with this shoe. And I don't really.
Yeah, I've never heard of this brand, Troublesmile. I took like a quick look at them. You know, they look cool. It's like a Chinese brand, but agree, it's a lot going on. I would say the palette overall, I think is clean. I like the chrome hits, kind of that metallic look. But yeah, the fire is a lot going on for sure. I think the branding was cool on these, but you know, definitely a little bit much for me overall. So
yeah. Do you feel like, when would you say you started, like you said, sneakers was like the foundation of you getting into clothes? How early do you think that was? Like, how young were you?
It was like late. I was like, I mean, funny you just mentioned, like, I really didn't get into sneakers and more like the mainstream cultural conversation around sneakers and clothes until like the Boost era. So we're talking like 2017, late 2016, early 2017 was when I really started paying attention, I would say. Which we could talk about later, but definitely had like different influences, you know, earlier on.
Yeah, I just feel like when I recall on my memory of getting to sneakers, I was probably like in high school, so like 2013, 2014, when like I really started caring more about what was on my feet. Like collabs just weren't like as frequent, and I feel like so many people are getting collabs and so many people are getting collabs with like specific silhouettes that I feel like a lot of silhouettes with certain brands are getting killed so quick because one person to latch onto a silhouette and like it could have been a dope silhouette, but they have like 15 collabs and it's like, all right, I'm tired of seeing this shoe. Like it is so interesting because like you'll think with more collabs, obviously more creativity, more, you know, different colorways, but I feel like it's slowly killing a lot of silhouettes with how many collabs we get within a week, let alone within a year of sneakers.
Right. No, I agree. I think that it's definitely a strategic. I think these brands know what they're doing on like more the corporate side of like, all right, this is the silhouette we're gonna push now. Hopefully these sales then funnel into like our GRs and things, you know, and they're just they kind of like, I feel like they're choosing, you know, what moments they want to stand for, like what silhouettes they want to kind of put in the spotlight. And yeah, then they're pushing them. I mean, even, you know, everybody knows when Teddy did the 550s with New Balance, it was like,
thank God you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, that came from an authentic place. Like he pulled those out the archive. He was like, yo, this shoe hasn't been done from the 80s. I want to do this. And then, you know, I've heard various creators or just like, well, you saw a bunch of other collabs come out with them from that, even though that was kind of, I feel like that could have been special to ALD, you know, just because he pulled that out. You saw all their GRs, obviously, but then like from there, I don't know if you know the brand Bricks and Wood.
Yeah.
I even heard Casey on an interview talking about just like how he was offered that opportunity as well to do the 550, but he wanted to kind of differentiate himself, make something that felt authentic. And I love their collab they did. Shout out to him with New Balance. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's definitely a push around certain silhouettes, and sometimes it can become exhausting after, you see it a bunch of times. But
I think another one too, and I think it has to wrap up very soon, or I feel like it's going to kill the overall legacy of it. But the Travis Scott and the Jordan collabs, they have to stop. Like the reverse swoosh, when it was just a black and brown pair and it was like the white and blue, I was like, nah, this might be the greatest collab they've had in a very long time. Then he got 6 other colorways. Then he got 3 different silhouettes. And it was just like, how is he putting out 5 different or 6 different Jordan collabs within the same year? It's right. Like people, like you said, they're latching onto it. Like, if you're a Travis Scott fan, you're obviously going to buy it. But it's like, it's kind of losing that power. And I don't want to sound like, exclusivity is the reason why something's dope. But I feel like that definitely plays a part into what makes certain sneakers doper than other ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not special anymore once it's kind of, everybody's had their touch on, or it's just kind of overdone, because it loses that special touch. But
I had the 550s when they first came out. I had the green and yellow pair. I was like, these are gas. Ain't no way I'm ever getting rid of these. And I ended up making a video of me driving over them with my car. I actually sold the pair too after I drove over them. So it is what it is. But it is just interesting. Every time I could feel it. I could feel the exhaustion coming whenever I see it's a new collab this week. Oh, what's dropping this week? And I see the Keanu 14 got a new colorway, or this the 92 from New Balance got new. It's just like certain things would be like, damn, we getting another one?
Right.
And no one's reaching into the archive. I feel like that's what a lot of people are liking. I got the Nike Bodie Astro Grabbers. I thought that was dope. So I was like, these ain't came back since they stopped selling them. I was like, that's fire. Right. So I don't know. It's just a thought I had. I was like, that's interesting.
Definitely.
What would you give these out of 5? I think these are 2. These are 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like a 2. I'd agree there.
I think the only way I would wear these if they're gifted. That's it. I don't think I would go out of my way to purchase these.
Yeah. And it's funny, overall color palette wise, these kind of from an initial glance, they remind me of the pair that Salehe recently did with New Balance, but his just hit way harder for me. It's the 1906 R's. They're
I know what you're talking about. Hold on.
Yeah. But those I would rock.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those are gas. They look exactly almost like
the
similar.
colors, the vibe, but these, it's just something about the fire on there. I don't know.
It almost would have been as impactful had the fire not been. I don't know if that's their motif or whatever the case may be, but had it just been a gradient from the yellow, orange into red, it probably would have gave it a little bit more oomph.
Yeah, right.
Nah, these look dead on the 19, and I wanted those bad.
Dude.
And they're going on StockX for $1,500. Yeah, sure. I'm but let's jump into the next article. All right, so this article title reads, NIGO and Marc Jacobs collide on Hero 40th anniversary sweater. I don't know if you've been peeping what he's been doing for this 40th, but I think it's dope. He's been calling on a lot of designers. Pharrell reached out to Cactus Plant, NIGO for this one. He's just reaching out to a lot of I guess you would call them friends or people within the industry. And I don't think it's every month he's working with somebody different, or it may be the case, but he's given all these other people to kind of reach into his archive. So this jacket, or this sweater, I think this is from a collection that he did back in the 1990s, which I'll be real. Mohair is kind of hard for me. Like, it doesn't react well with my skin. And if I do wear something like this, I have to wear something super layered under like a long sleeve or something like a turtleneck, because I don't know. Like, I feel like people who have longer hair on their body, as far as like on their arms or like around like the areas where the clothes would come in contact, I feel like they're more susceptible to wear things like this because like it doesn't really interact.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think it's so. I looked into it a little bit. I mean, first of all, definitely gotta check out what you talking about, because I didn't even realize he was doing like a series of releases for the 40th. So that sounds dope. You know, I'm gonna tap in and see what that's about. But yeah, mohair could definitely be hit or miss for sure. You know, I looked at this though. This is actually, even though it has that texture
Alpaca.
of mohair, it's alpaca and wool, which might actually be a little more of a soft feel than like a itchy. I mean, I don't know, some people react to wool as well, you know, but this would probably be just like mohair is like true mohair is inherently like itchy, and like the higher the composition of like actual mohair in a garment is going to be even itchier, you know. So even the mohair stuff I try to use a blend that makes it a little bit less of like that uncomfortable feel on the skin, because I felt a bunch of different mohairs. I did my research, and you could definitely feel the difference, you know, depending on that actual composition. But I mean, this one probably might actually be a little cozier than your average mohair. I'm assuming. I mean, it's Marc Jacobs, probably the highest quality materials possible. But no, overall, I think it's cool. I love a good callback moment. You know, is this something I'll wear? I don't know. You know, big S, but big Superman joint. But, you know, yeah, definitely respect NIGO doing this thing. It's dope.
Yeah, I'm just like, so like, I think because I have your sweater vest, I think it's better in the sense that like it's not a long sleeve, so it's easier for me to kind of like get out of that touching my skin. But like, I work for a company, they did like wool things, and I work for another company that had like mohair. It's just like sometimes too, because like the price typically is a little bit higher too for like a wool or like a alpaca or like a mohair, and I just like I can't justify it because I'm gonna be itching. I just like it doesn't make sense.
No, I agree.
But this piece though, I'll probably rock it. Again, I probably wouldn't buy it because since it is probably like, it's like that special is NIGO. It's also Marc Jacobs. It's also a callback to something that's a little bit a blast from the past. So it's like it's probably gonna be a pretty expensive piece. This will probably be another thing where it's like, feels good to me, I'll rock it. So I can see like it feels like a little crop, have a shirt under. I can see where it will fit into like my wardrobe, but I don't think I would seek it.
Yeah, I agree. I could see you rocking this joint for sure.
But I'm interested though, like, because I think he also has Tremaine on the lineup of people he's working with. Tremaine and Pharrell still haven't announced their what they've done. But yeah, you should look into it though. It's a lot of people that he has on that roster that he's collabing with for this 40th. Really dope stuff. I feel like it's going to come out of it.
So yeah, definitely want to check it out. I took a quick look at the gram. Seen he had Tyshawn Jones modeling as well, which was dope. I don't know if you know him, pro skater, but he's killing it. He's like a younger guy from New York.
Is that the dude that didn't he jump a car in New York? Like,
yeah. His house is crazy. He's done multiple incredible tricks like over the subway tracks in New York. He was skater of the year. He's like only the second skater of the year to get it twice. You know, that's like Thrasher's big, like yearly, they kind of crown like a skater. But yeah, definitely though. I feel like Marc Jacobs has always been good about, you know, just tapping into the culture in like a subtle way. Like he has this kind of luxurious, you know, brand and everything, but like he's definitely like a man of the culture for sure.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to, you know, a lot of brands don't really make it to that elite. Well, definitely not 40. Some don't even make it to like a 10. And I feel like his name has always rung a bell within like fashion itself. I'm curious though, like what designers do you naturally just like, you could go to their work and you'd be like, now I'm inspired. Like maybe like, let's say 3 designers that you could be like, nah, they got some great work.
Man, let's think. I'd say so. I've really been liking this dude, Nicholas Daly, lately.
Oh, is that the dude from Jamaica?
I believe he's from Jamaica. Just like super artisanal work, lots of great textures and patterns and just warm colors. So I've been loving his stuff. Wells Bonner for sure. She's snapping. Love what she's been doing for sure. Similar vibe, very artisanal, but then like that kind of just black, old school Ivy kind of vibe I love. Man, who else do I? It's hard because like I feel like I draw inspiration from a lot of random stuff. It's not always, designers per se, but let me circle back on that third one.
Yeah. And I don't think this is a question. So we could probably talk about like when you say you draw inspiration from random stuff, because I feel like I might walk outside and I might see the gradient of an orange. I'm like, damn, that was fire. Is it like that? Are you saying like
exactly? Like I'm constantly like I've always got my camera like my phone, like I'm snapping pictures of all kinds of different things, and it's just like, that's the type of stuff that really inspires me. I could see like a random tablecloth and a pattern and the color. It's like, oh, I want to wear that. You know who else though who has been killing it that I really like? Buki Ojo. 7 Stores. I don't know if you know that brand. Definitely check them out. They're just like attention to detail. Their silhouettes, like incredible. The branding, the campaigns. It's called 7 Stores. They're out of London. I love what they've been doing. Definitely like top tier stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. I ain't never heard of that. I like getting put onto new brands.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like some of the like people that come to mind for me, just like every time I see their work, I'm just like, how did you even come up with that? Issei, bro, I thought he was like, when I started really getting into fashion, when I started moving from like the black scale, the Supreme, and like I started looking at different brands, Issei was probably one of the first like real, designers I landed on. I was just like, what is this? I don't understand it. Him, Craig Green, every time I see something like a collection from Greg Green, I'm just like, how do you even get there? What was the starting point? How did you even get the fabric to even move like that? Like, it's crazy to me. It's not really fashion, but I think Salehe's definitely one of the he's done is just like not even just the clothes, but the art direction for the visuals when he drops, the videos that he drops. I'm just like, nobody's doing it like that for real.
Facts.
Nobody.
Facts, definitely a legend.
So it's crazy because I remember during the pandemic, I think that's when he just had left Versace. I think he was working for, and just to see like when he announced that he was leaving and he started like venturing to doing his own thing, I was just like, it's been pretty quick. Like it's only been 4 years really since that since he dropped, and then he started doing his own stuff. So I was just like, that's crazy.
No, he's coming. He's growing rapidly. I mean, I first tapped into him during the pandemic, probably like 2020. I listened to his he was on the Business of Hype. I don't know if you've ever listened to that podcast. Incredible podcast. But it was hosted by Jeff Staple. But hey, after hearing his story, I've been locked in for sure. Super inspiring. Like definitely check out his episode. Just like his journey, how he kind of came up behind the scenes, and then now doing his own thing is definitely super inspiring. So
yeah, definitely at the forefront of it now.
For sure.
I think that's the perfect segue. Let's go ahead and jump into this next article. All right, so this article title reads, Salehe Bembury cheeses the Crocs Pollex Cypress boot. And I get it. He definitely has an interesting take on a lot of things, but this is probably the craziest thing I didn't see him ever announce that he's doing. This is some this is something wild.
It's different for sure. It's just out there. It's out there.
I don't ever know how to really like. How do you even attack this? Like, how do you even go? Like, this is interesting. That's all I
mean, yeah, I feel like. Listen, overall, I would say like a lot of the recent pieces aren't really my speed from him. But like I know he's incredibly talented. I feel like he's designing from an authentic place. Like you can tell he's not just like, all right, what's gonna easily sell? What do they want from me? It's like for him to even put something out like this, that shows like he's deeply, I don't know, there's something deeper there than just like, oh, let's see what's out there in the market. Let's see what's trendy and make something. It's like he's really designing from an internal place. So I can respect it. You know, this is a little bit, I wouldn't wear it. You know, somebody probably will. But, you know, much respect for sure, you know.
So I'm interested to hear what would make this more appealing to you. Like, what about this? If you could change one thing to where it'd be like, okay, I can see myself kind of rocking it, what would it be?
Man, and this is sad because I feel like this is his mark, but honestly, like that midsole, I feel like, you know, that the whole Pollex kind of like fingerprint thing, I mean, it's cool. I feel like it worked a little bit better on the like original Crocs he did. Like those were actually like, all right, I'll probably throw those on. But on here, something about that, like I feel like if it was a different midsole, it would be a little bit more approachable, just given like the rest of the silhouette. But I don't know. What about you? What would you change?
Oddly enough, I feel like this is 3 different shoes.
Yeah.
From the bottom, the mid, and the top. Like I feel like it's 3 different shoes and it's not really like mixing well. I think all he would have to do for me to be like, okay, this is cool, is take this piece right here, chop this off, and then put the boot up higher where it's like matching this texture,
like
this.
The actual rubber Croc.
Yeah, and make it like a rubber boot rather than making it like a Converse that's shoved into a Croc that stepped into something like this. That's all. That's literally all he would have to do for me to be like, okay, I'm on board. I could probably see myself rocking this. Just take this piece out right here and make it just this, kind of make it just blend, like make it replicate that. Because it kind of reminds me then of like when, you know, Kanye West is walking around with those big Croc boots, like the Balenciaga joints.
Oh,
like,
yeah, true.
I feel like it kind of be within that realm of like a boot that Croc has done. I feel like that would be dope. But the Converse top with the bottom piece, I was just like, just feel like it's too much going on. Even though I feel like pants would cover this. So if you put pants on, they wouldn't necessarily see this, but like, I don't like this. I don't think that's like, I think that's what scared me off.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one, but I don't know.
Do you have, out of all his drops, which one do you think is like his best? Like the best work he's put out?
Best work. So for me, like something I would really rock, something like the most desirable on my end was definitely those ones I mentioned earlier that had the similar palette to the first ones. Something about those is mad. Like I love a good, when it's tastefully done, I love a good pop color. I think those like hit the nail on the head. And I love that shoe already to begin with. Like that's my like regular lifestyle shoe for the gym and such. So that's probably the best one for me. I get the hype around the Crocs and things. Like I was very hesitant on those back and forth. I was like, you know, I've been trying to be very particular with the things I buy. I have no space up here in New York. You know how like I have to be very just kind of critical about what I keep in my wardrobe. So yeah, I'd say those for me. And then back in before his own thing, like the Yeezy, he designed the Yeezy Season 3 boots, which like those is incredible. Like his awareness, like that's why like he has so much range to where it's like I know whatever he does is coming from like a deeply creative and just like talented place, you know.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I thought he only worked on the burnt sienna pair. He worked on the season 2 boot like as a whole.
Season 3, the season 3 boot, I know he did for sure, like from scratch. Which like a while ago he posted his original sketch of that boot on his page. Cause yeah, he had I think he had a couple years. I forget the exact timeline. I think he had about like a year or two at Easy, but
yeah,
you know, he definitely, or it might have even been longer, I forget. But no, he definitely like there's a lot. I feel like he contributed a lot there in the footwear space, you know, which is like
I got a pair of the season 3s, so that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna send you the sketch after this. Like it's just crazy. Like it's crazy how nuanced he can get with the silhouettes and the shapes of like it's like it looks like exactly how the boot ends up coming to life. It's like every little line is, you know, the proportion, the shape is just like so thoughtful, but
real methodical with it.
Yeah.
I would say, and this is probably I haven't felt like this in a very long time, but when he dropped the water beater guides, that was the first time in a long time where I was like, no, I need these shoes. I didn't care what the resale price was. I was like, okay, if I don't hit, I gotta get these.
Yeah,
and I've sold a lot of. I'm very interested now as I get older, what makes me sell a piece versus what makes me keep a piece. Like I've cycled through a lot of sneakers. I've cycled through a lot of clothes. But there's certain pieces I've had for like 4 years, 5 years now. Like what makes that piece stand out versus something that I thought was equally good at the time, but I sold it. I'm like in that space now where I'm trying to figure out and be as particular, like you mentioned, like with my closet, because like, I don't know. I don't like clutter. So like if I can narrow it down to like the things I absolutely do like, that'd be perfect.
For sure.
But yeah, the water beater guys, those are mine.
Those are clean for sure.
But that's gonna wrap up the articles. I think is the perfect time now to kind of lead into more about your story and what you got going on, because I think people need to know, bro. People need to know. They want to hear it.
But I love the way you work it. Hey, I love the way you work it for me.